Are you craving a trip on Space Mountain? Well, we've got the next best thing. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and in today's House of Mouse headlines, SpiderMan is in trouble, and a Frozen celebration is headed to Paris. That and so much more, so let's get to it.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
If you're listening to this on the day of its release, we are currently in the final hours of the D23 Expo 2019. I've been attending the expo all weekend, gathering info and having experiences to talk about on future episodes of Disney Coast to Coast, so this House of Mouse headlines will be a short one since I've recorded several days in advance before making my trip down to Anaheim. I'm sure there is tons of additional news that has come out of the expo, but not to worry, we'll be getting to that on Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. If you're listening to this episode while traveling home from the expo, I sincerely hope you had a magical weekend. But for now, let's get to these news stories. It looks as though SpiderMan is in quite the tangled web at the moment. It's been reported that Disney and Sony have not been able to come to an agreement about how to handle the Spider-Man character. You're most likely aware that the Walt Disney Company owns Marvel, but unfortunately, due to some deals before Disney's ownership, certain characters are not quite owned by Disney. That's the case for Spider-Man, where Sony has the cinematic rights to this character. In the past, there's been an agreement between Disney and Sony where Disney would get 5% of the day one grosses, but now Disney is asking for 50%. That's a pretty huge difference, and Sony doesn't want to do it. So what does that mean exactly? Well, if nothing changes, that means that Sony can continue to make their Spider-Man movies, but it would be without the help of Kevin Feige and the folks at Marvel, and therefore there would no longer be any more crossover from Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe like we've seen in the Avengers films and even the standalone Spider-Man movies. One might argue that the standalone Spider-Man films have been successful due to the input from Marvel, and therefore Sony is shooting themselves in the foot. To play devil's advocate, another might argue that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won the Academy Award and did very well without the help from Marvel Studios. As you probably know, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but this situation makes me angry. If you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you're probably aware that I like consistency. This who owns what world we're living in sucks. I guess Disney could just buy Sony and that would fix the problem, but I'm sure it would create all new ones. There's a very simple solution to this. If studios would create their own content instead of buying others' content, we wouldn't run into these sorts of problems. What a novel idea. It's time for new leaders. Rant over. The United States has been looking forward to the launch of the Disney streaming service Disney Plus for a while now, as we were told quite some time ago that it would launch on November 12th of this year. But now some more countries have been given their launch dates. Canada and the Netherlands will also be getting Disney Plus on November 12th, while Australia and New Zealand will be getting it on November 19th. So it looks like the magic is spreading faster than you may have anticipated. Disney Plus also announced the different devices from which you'll be able to stream the service. Those devices include Apple iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and Apple TV, Google Android phones and TV devices, Chromecast and Chromecast built-in devices, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Sony's Android-based TVs, plus Roku streaming players and Roku TV models. Missing from this list is the most popular streaming device in the world, the Amazon Fire TV. This seems like a pretty big issue. No word yet as to whether or not it will be available through Amazon at a later date. The cast for the brand new season of Dancing with the Stars was announced. When season 28 kicks off on Monday, September 16th on ABC, we'll be seeing fancy footwork from a supermodel, a Supreme, a Bachelorette, and an NFL Hall of Famer, to name just a few. Here are the celebrities, and I use that term pretty loosely, who are breaking in their dancing shoes, getting ready for their Dancing with the Stars debuts. Platinum-selling country star Lauren Elena, supermodel Christy Brinkley, Ally Brooke from the pop group Fifth Harmony, Bachelor and Bachelorette contestant Hannah Brown, Karamo Brown from Queer Eye, Kate Flannery from the hit series The Office, NFL Hall of Famer Ray Lewis, Kel Mitchell from the classic Nickelodeon series All That, NBA player Lamar Odom, Sean Spicer, who you may know from the world of Republican politics, James Vanderbeek of Dawson's Creek fame, and Mary Wilson from the singing group The Supremes. I don't personally watch the show, but I admit it's a little sad that the person I'd be most interested in seeing is Kel Mitchell from all that. Now let's head over to Disneyland Paris for a moment, where we got news of a Frozen celebration. This new Frozen celebration will take place in Disneyland Paris from January 11th through May 3rd of 2020. Guests will be able to join Anna, Elsa, and Olaf for a magical celebration that's sure to melt your heart. No further specifics about the celebration have been announced at this time, but keep in mind that if you plan your vacation just right, you could overlap the Frozen celebration in Disneyland Paris and the celebration of Star Wars at Walt Disney Studios Park. That's going to do it for the news this week, so let's get to this week's Twitter poll, where I asked you folks, if you could attend one of the Magic Kingdom holiday parties, which would you choose? Your options were Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. In last place was Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party with only 39% of the votes, and 61% of you said Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Do you agree with the results of this Twitter poll? Make your voice heard by following Disney CTC on Twitter and taking part in the Twitter poll every week. That's Dizney CTC on Twitter. Folks, do not forget that there is a giant contest going on right now over at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. If you head over there and click on contest, you will see that you can enter every single day for a chance to win a trip to Walt Disney World. Yes, this is for real. You can enter every day over at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. You'd get a week-long vacation, which would include your hotel, your theme park tickets, and even the dining plan. So make sure you head to DisneyCoastToCoast.com and click on contest there. While you're there, make sure you sign up to get our list of America's Hidden Mickeys, which features different Disney destinations around the USA that you may not know about but could make for a fun little vacation. You can do that at DisneyCoastToCoast.com as well. Just click on Free Gift. And of course, folks, if you're looking to start your own podcast but you're not sure how to start, simply head to youcanpodcastnow.net, where you can get some free information on how you can get started with your very own podcast. This episode of Disney Coast to Coast was produced by Philip Elke, who has supported the show through Patreon. If you'd like to become a DCTC producer or gain other rewards, including early access to episodes, live stream Q&As, behind-the-scenes access, and more, information can be found at patreon.com/DisneyCTC. That's patreon.com/DIZNEYCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.